Hello, Stu Nation. I am Vince Wright, the Sports Governor. I am the co-host of the Sports and More Show. Make sure you tune in every Friday on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network at 12 noon to check me out and, of course, my co-host, Reggie Lawrence.
What's up, everybody? I'm Reggie Lawrence, a.k.a. Dollars and Cents, the other half of the Sports and More Show. But the only difference is I'm much smarter and better looking than my main man, Vince Wright. But like Vince said, make sure you check us out every Friday on the SME Network. Peace.
Squad.
The number one cheap rocket jersey firm.
Lonely Hearts Cafe.
Spicy conversations.
It's Vince Wright, the Sports Governor from Minnesota.
Man, Deli on.
Microwave.
Reggie Long, a.k.a. Dollars and Cents.
Kicking it with KC.
X gon' give it to you. Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Doug Stewart here to tell you about my man Smooth at smoothtickets.com. Smooth's got the tickets for everything that you need in the world of sports, concerts, or theater. I don't care what it is. I don't care where it's at in this great land of ours. My man Smooth at smoothtickets.com, he got them tickets. I'm telling you, boxing, baseball, NBA, NFL, country music concerts, hard rock, hip-hop, theater, Broadway. He's got them all. And if he don't have them, there ain't none. I'm telling you. SmoothTickets.com. Once again, that's SmoothTickets.com, or give him a call at 404-374-1150. Once again, that's 404-374-1150. You got to tell him, though, that I sent you. You got to tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Once again, smoothtickets.com. That's smoothtickets.com. Yeah!
The Sleeper Pick. The guy only you believe in. In 1 week fantasy football on DraftKings, he can be the difference. So trust your gut. Trust your numbers. Trust your Uncle Vito if you want. But know this. That sleeper is out there. The question is, who's going to play him? This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time.
To create your account, click on the banner link on the DougStewartShow.com or the Doug Stewart Show app. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. Shouts out to the Los Angeles Dodgers as they advance to the National League Championship Series as they win last night and beat the Washington Nationals. What was it, 4-3? Your boy Clayton Kershaw came up off the bench and got the save. So now they take on the Cubs. In game one of the Dodgers and Cubs, you have, who you have? You have John Lester pitching for the Cubs. We still don't know who's going to pitch for the Dodgers at this point. They did a bunch of freaky stuff last night with their pitcher, so they're going to have to figure it out. But the Dodgers make it to the National League Championship Series, taking on the Cubs, two of the bigger name organizations in the sport, so that's going to be kind of good. And also in the American League, we've already talked about it. I think they actually start this series tonight. You got Toronto taking on Cleveland. You got Marco Estrada on the mound for Toronto, and you got Corey Kluber on the mound for the Cleveland Indians. All right? Hey, Baller Award, while I'm thinking about it as well. Baller Award, while I'm thinking about it as well, to the San Diego Chargers. They get a win last night. They finally win a game in their division. That's it took them 10 tries to win a game in their division, man. As last night they beat the Denver Broncos. Good win for them. Not a great game if you watched it, and these Thursday night games usually aren't aesthetically pleasing. But the good game and good looking uniforms for the San Diego Chargers. Man, I love the Chargers uniform. And last night they did the little color blast thing or whatever. And so they had a kind of different setup scheme for their uniforms. But for people that don't know, man, I used to follow the Chargers as much as a kid from the low country of South Carolina could back when I was growing up, when I was a young kid. The only person from my hometown that played in the NFL during that era, and I'm talking about the 70s, was a guy named Clarence Williams. He actually grew up in my part of town. My hometown, where I went to high school and everything, is Moncks Corner, South Carolina. But I actually grew up in a little area outside of Moncks Corner, outside the city limits, called Oakley. And so this guy, Clarence Williams, he played running back for the University of South Carolina. And he actually played for the San Diego Chargers in the 70s with Air Coryell, Dan Faust. He played with Dan Faust and all of those cats, man. John Jefferson, Kellen Winslow Sr., all of those cats. So he actually grew up in my area, excuse me. And so in the off season, he'd come home. He actually attended my church. He grew up in the same church that I did. And so he'd come home in the summertime, man, and he'd be dressed to the nines, custom made from head to toe. He had some money, so I guess he had tailored suits or whatever. And so it was a big thing. You couldn't really follow for the younger generation. You can't even really understand this. But as a kid, we only had 3 stations on TV. It was ABC, CBS, and NBC. And then they had the public broadcasting channel or whatever. But that was it. So we never really saw West Coast teams outside of the dominant teams. Like maybe, I can't remember if San Francisco was dominating at that point. Like the West Coast teams we saw a lot of were the Oakland Raiders. We saw the Raiders. And every once in a while you'd see the other teams in the American League or the AFC that are West Coast teams. So like every once in a while you'd see the Seattle Seahawks, or you'd see the San Diego Chargers. Every once in a while. It wasn't frequent. And so I was a big fan of the Chargers, man. I had a lot of Chargers paraphernalia that he would bring the little kids in the neighborhood. So I got like this fandom for the Chargers, man. And those uniforms might be the best uniforms in football. Yeah, they might be. They might be. Man, I loved them Chargers when I was a kid, man, because their uniform was kind of different, and it was kind of cool with the lightning bolts and the color pattern. That's another thing. The color pattern is pretty much the color pattern of my high school football team as well. So I always just thought the Chargers were great, man. And those uniforms are fat as hell. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. You see the title of today's episode, Punk Ass Paul Pierce Tells the Truth and Shames the Devil. Now, what happened was Paul Pierce basically went in on Kevin Durant leaving Oklahoma City and going to Golden State to play for the Warriors, a team that put them out of the playoffs last year. Kevin Durant's teammate, Draymond Green, basically went on the offensive of Paul Pierce, trying to defend him and Durant's action and coming to Golden State. Green was reacting to Paul Pierce's criticism of Durant's decision to leave OKC for the team that eliminated in the Western Conference Finals last season. Pierce appeared to tweak Durant on Wednesday by speaking out negatively about KD joining forces with the players he had competed against. Here's a quote from Paul Pierce. Now, you have to understand something. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, I have a little history with Paul Pierce. We almost kind of sort of had to whoop his ass in Las Vegas a couple years ago. No lie. No lie. Paul Pierce was talking, mad-ish to me and my brother at the celebrity pool tournament in Las Vegas. I believe it was Vegas, for the NBA All-Star game. This is probably 10 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer. Back when the Two Live Stews was rolling, when sugar was falling from the sky. And so Paul Pierce, man, was popping a bunch of cash-ish to the Stews, and he didn't understand that we weren't like normal journalists. Like, we would have easily just went up in there and did the old 1-2 on them. We had these moves, these wrestling moves that me and my brother worked out in in the mid-late 70s. And so me and my brother were kind of like, or still probably right now, because we probably still know our routine. Me and my brother were pretty much like the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, except for we were from Monk's Corner. We were the Monk's Corner Wrecking Crew. And Paul Pierce, man, you know he got an attitude problem. He's been in a bunch of little skirmishes throughout his life and whatnot. So basically he was talking, down to me and my brother. And we didn't like that at all. And, it got kind of contentious. He was talking smack. We was talking ish. Nobody was laughing at all. It was a very serious matter, But anyway, ever since that and then him being a fake, you remember he got in that wheelchair when he hurt his shoulder and came back the next series in that playoff series. You remember that? So not a Paul Pierce fan, but he's telling the truth about Kevin Durant. Here's a quote from Kevin Durant or from Paul Pierce. He says, "I'm an old school guy. I'm a competitor. When you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. That's always been something that's driven me. Today's day and age, a lot of these guys are friends. That's like if Larry Bird decided to go play with the Magic Johnson or something. These guys, I think the competition makes the game what it is." And he's exactly right. And I've talked about this a million gazillion times. And I've probably given that same example before. Like, could you imagine when they became a free agent, Larry Bird going to play with Magic Johnson? Or could you imagine, Larry Bird going to play with Isaiah Thomas in Detroit? No. I mean, where's the competitor in you? Yeah. And your boy Draymond Green, who's a clown, by the way, went on there and defending Kevin Durant and says nobody complains when somebody leaves Apple and goes to Google, Green said, adding, aren't they in competition with each other? No, that's apples and oranges. Apple and Google are corporate settings, okay? Basketball is sports. Basketball is competition, mano and mano, man versus man. There's rules to this game, man. There's man laws. There's unwritten rules. Stop defending the BS. It's cat as hell. Stop it. Stop defending the BS. Kevin Durant going to play for Golden State after they were up in their series about to go to the NBA Finals is bootleg. LeBron James, when the Cleveland Cavaliers were building the team around him and they came close, they went to an NBA Finals early in his career, tucking his tail between his legs and running down to Miami to win a couple of rings is bootleg and lame as hell. Stop it. And Paul Pierce is exactly right. Even though I can't stand the man, he's exactly right. And not only has Paul Pierce said this type of thing, but the greats, all the greats said is bootleg and lame. That's from Larry Bird. That's from Isaiah Thomas. That's Magic Johnson. That's Michael Jordan. They've all said it. That they would have never done no crap like that. Where's your competitive spirit, man? They just don't make men like they used to. They don't. These cats all lovey-feely up with each other. Oh, I'm going to go and play with Golden State. They're already the best team. They won 73 games last year. Let's see if we can win 78. It's lame. Hashtag bring back manhood. Hashtag bring competitiveness back. I agree with Paul Pierce. Even though he lame as hell himself, I agree with him. Back in 3 minutes, the Doug Stewart Show.
Mic check. Yes, this is your humble host, Marcus Harper. And make sure you check out my show, the Marcus Harper Podcast, on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes, hop aboard this train of thought. Weekly, 60 minutes of work. I got you. Sports talk, soul beats, and life. Again, the Marcus Harper Podcast, weekly on the SME Network. Check me out. Life is good.
The Sleeper Pick, the guy only you believe